Before I start this, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostle, as a great male star, rule well, teach well. Shalom to 144,000 men that's pushing, believe in his word, and our true sincerity, sacrificing their lives and wills to do so. Shalom to the men, women, and children that's tuning in and listening. And shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad on all four corners of the earth. The Heavenly Father named me Yahweh, His only begotten Son named me Yahweh Shai, and Lord, when this video is edifying, quick and straight to the point. This video right here will be entitled Podcast Culture. I entitled this like this because I was meditating on the current thing that's going on with the nation of Israel right now, and a lot of Israelites want to run to the podcast to team up with the enemy, and a lot of our people do that they do that a lot. And long story short, a lot of these Israelites often do that for fame and glory, and ultimately that's what gets you deleted, and not just deleted, that gets you in the bad graces of the Heavenly Father, which ultimately, we're not supposed to be conforming with the enemy or conversing with the enemy. And ultimately, you basically you trimming your ways to seek love, and ultimately, with everything that's going on, you doing that in times like this. Going on a podcast ain't gonna do nothing for you, but make it paint a bigger target on your back. So, I'm gonna start with Galatians chapter 5. I'm just flowing in the spirit with this one. This is Galatians chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. And yet, ultimately, these are Apostle Paul writing these things to the church of Galatia, because these are things that are of the flesh, and the flesh don't gain us anything. This is a spiritual warfare, and not just the fact that it's a spiritual warfare. Well, it is that, but the flesh will ultimately destroy you. Now, we all deal with fleshly things. We all have our vices and things of that nature. But ultimately, the elect are looking to put away the flesh and pursue the things of the spirit on a day in and day out daily basis. And, going on a podcast to seek fame and a reputation, that's carnal. You seeking after things that can get you caught up. And not just caught up, they can, anytime you do something like seeking attention from someone, that always often ends up coming back to bite you. Now, with everything that's going on, you will get caught in all of that, caught in the, you're a black terrorist, or you're extremist. Now, Alazar, Nate, all of them, Sakari, all of that, Hassad, and all of them, you're going to get caught up in that wind of destruction with everything that's good, with everything that's about to happen. Because now you're painting a bigger target on your back, and you're making you're ultimately going on a podcast with Adam 22 and vocab is a man. You signing yourself up for trouble. And our Lord ain't going to forget that. He's going to remember the simple fact that you went and conformed with the enemy. We have many examples of going to our enemy for things. Trying to make a peace treaty with our enemy. So we can't trust our enemy. Actually, let me see. Rust. Let me see. This is wicked. Because we can't trust our enemy at all. We already have too many examples of what happens when we trust our enemy. Let me see. I'm trying to grab that wickedness. Let me see. Let me see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get Psalms 50. Is 50 or 55? I ain't grabbed that one in a while. This Psalms chapter 55. Let me get there real quick. And I'll start at verse. Let me see. I'll start at verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. And yeah, you know, our enemy is known for being deceitful. And ultimately, we trusting in somebody that is deceitful and to seek our lives, man. Come on now. You joining with the enemy. You're siding with the enemy. So you're an enemy by default. What's that saying? If you can't beat them, join them. If you get, come on now. You going to the enemy on a podcast? That speaks volumes of you. And I'm not saying that in a positive sense. People like that are known to be double crossers. Those that cannot be trusted. And going on podcasts with our enemy to talk and debate with them, and knowing you're willingly signing yourself up for you to not even be able to spread the word. You won't even get a word out. They'll deflect everything you say. Even if you bring a proper precept, a good precept on time, and going with the situation and going with the topic, they just, what about this? What about, like, nah, man. You signing yourself up for problems each and every single time. So I'm going to go back to Galatians chapter 5 real quick. Well, I'm going to finish that out. Let me see. This is Galatians chapter 5, and I left off at verse 21. Envying, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and like such, of which I tell you before, I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And yeah, the things of the flesh will stop you from inheriting the kingdom, being of the elect. Now, granted, the elect are already predestined, but this is going for myself as well. The things of the flesh ultimately are what destroys us. Is always the flesh. In some way, shape, or form. We have Adam, for example. We have Samson, for example. Trusting in women. Trusting in both of those situations happen to be about women. You know? And we know that in high spiritual times, we cannot afford to be caught lacking because that will cost us our lives. We know that and we see that. Let me see. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Mashiach have crucified all flesh with the affections and lusts. And yeah, lusting after glory. Now the Lord's going to give us glory in due time, but you're going to seek fleshly things, carnal things. You will never get your answer like that. You would never get in the answer you think you're going to get is going to be destruction. There's no way around that. There's no way to stop that. If you're going, and not by no way to stop that, I mean if you're going willingly to the enemy for because I want to get some money, I want to grow my platform. This ain't about platform. This ain't about trying to get your money up. This ain't about trying to get glory and be known. Now, the Lord's going to make known who his men are. That's the righteous way of going about it. But and we have examples like that in Maccabees, where there's men that disobeyed orders and went to go conspire with the enemy or disobey orders to make a name for themselves, and they got stomped. They got embarrassed. Now, this is an example to me. This is an example to me also. You know, we have reasons. There's a reason why leadership is established, because they've seen what happened when men are well known They've seen what happened when money changed. They've seen money change a man on many, multiple occasions and times. So from there, let me see. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 25. Actually, I'll keep going. Verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us walk in the Spirit. Let me read that. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. And yeah, you doing things after the flesh, you're not walking in the Spirit. You're lusting after the flesh. And we always have examples of us trusting in flesh. And the flesh don't never profit us nothing but trouble and anguish and distress. Verse 26, let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. And yeah, going to seek vainglory, that always get us in trouble. Will always get us in trouble. That's one of the things we have to look out for in the flesh. No matter from the least of the camp all the way up to the top of the camp. That's something we always have to look out for. And always, that's why we need Yahweh Shai. That's why the law cannot save us. Yahweh Shai can save us from ourselves. The law can't save us from ourselves, because the law is going to physically come down here and save us. No. Yahweh Shai is the law. He is the one that's going to come back here and save us from ourselves. This is a prime example of why we can't trust in ourselves. This is why we need Yahweh Shai. Prime example of that. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and close out with Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Go ahead and get there real quick and I'm going to close out. This is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Why tremblest thou way? This is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. And yeah, you're trimming your ways to seek love. That ain't just to gain money, but also to seek approval from these people. To get I get on if I try to be nice to him, I'll be able to go on a podcast and make money. No, that's not how that's supposed to be, and that's not how you're supposed to conduct yourself. You've been given the ability to see things. You've been given the ability to know what's about to happen within the current times. That's in the current, not just current, but the future times as well. So how much more so you should be behaving? And like I said, this goes for me as well. You know, I'm not exempt from this, but Lord wanted this video edifying. I was just doing this video because this is on my spirit to do so. But Lord willing, this video is edifying. Before I close, I'd like to give our prayers to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Rakakwadash. Lord wanted this video is edifying, and also the next one, Shalom.